Hello YouTubers, welcome to the Signal Box today. Thank you for joining me for another episode of my railway and things to do on the railway and just general railway conversation about the hobby. Anyway, wherever you're watching from, great to have you with me. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe if this is your first time here. Thank you very much, and we'll crack on with today's video. So, as the title suggests, pulling a few strings. Well, these strings in particular. If you don't know what these are copper wound or copper phosphorus material guitar strings. I'm not really a guitarist, I'm actually a drummer since I was 11. But I did take up the guitar many moons ago, and I just sort of get a tune out of it is all I can describe, and I'll say no more. But if you play guitar, or you know someone that plays guitar, if you ask them very nicely that when their strings break and they have to change the strings on the guitar, tell them not to throw them away, because they come in so handy, and they are really good for lots of different modelling projects, because they come in various grades and thicknesses, things like handrails on locos, around the top of signal gantries, all sorts of things you can use these for. Well, my string here today, as you can see the thickness of it, it's the right thickness for what I'm going to show you next. So what is next? So grab yourself a beverage of your choice and I'll be back in a moment. So here's our useful piece of guitar string, that's now in situ as a lightning conductor up the side of the church there, just over the overhang. I know I could have done that a little bit better, but it's a little bit difficult to do sometimes, these things. But anyway, I've stuck it on there. This is actually got to be painted, so I'm just going to get the paint out shortly and just have a go at that. I might even bend that top round just a little bit more at the top with some pliers, bring it closer in. Anyway, it doesn't notice too much, but that's the idea for the use of the guitar string to make a lightning conductor. There, as you can see in the background, I've got some buildings there I'm going to show you as well, done the same sort of effect. So if I just bring that out of the way, because it's a hefty old building, plonk it over there safely. This works rather well on this. So there's our lightning conductor from the bottom, from that shot there, and then we'll follow it up all the way up the chimney, all the way up there, all the way up there, all the way up there. And yeah, so I think what I've got to do is just take a little bit off the top, just a tiny fraction of a mil. I don't know, what do you think? I might leave it. And that's got to be painted. I've got some very fine modelers, artists, sable brushes. They're extremely fine, painting very finite small jobs like this. So that I'll do in a little bit. So I just thought I'd show you that in place. Fairly straightforward to do. The only difficult part is just getting a pair of nose pliers and bending it round edges like that on the bottom there. I've done the best I can. It's not always easy to get a perfect crimp joint underneath there. The only other thing you can probably use, I would say, if you want to save time in painting it, the other thing you can use is a little bit thicker, is gardening wire. You know, you get it on the reels of stuff for tying up your tomato plants and stuff in the garden. You can get it on Amazon. It's about £6 something, a big giant hefty roll of it. Obviously you're not going to need all that, but it's just another use for something you can find lying around the house, and in my example is a guitar string. So there we go, another lightning conductor on that, which I think looks absolutely fantastic. Definitely does the job there. So that I've got to sit and paint. I've done that one. What else did I do? I'll bring into shot the Brahms and Liszt brewery building. Again, the same thing I've done there up the side of the building, and there's a few glue marks on there, but we can do something about that and weather it up. Just on the edge there. But once that's painted up, it won't look too bad. But because it's quite a stiff piece of material, it's not like standard copper wire, like what you get for wiring your plugs and stuff like that. This is very heavy duty stuff. Well, it has to be, it's guitar strings. Has to be strummed and plucked and so forth. So it's pretty tough, but you can bend it with nose pliers to your desired shape. But getting it around these cornerstones, it's a little bit fiddly. But what I've done, I've the best I can, if you've noticed, I've utilised the natural built-in seam where the kit was joined together down the edge there. I've just covered it up with that little bit of guitar string there, which I think looks a bit better. Again, it's going to be painted, so it will look a little bit more nicer. But that's that one done. What else did I do? Oh, I did this one a moment ago, so that's just ready to paint. I'll put that down there. This has got to be adjusted there. It's got to be, I've still got to bend this over and trim it, but you get the idea. Just down the side there. That one's done. And then lastly, but not least, bringing it out of the shot into the shop, I've done the fire station, which that looks pretty good. That would be a travesty, wouldn't it, if the old firemen were on their training exercise up there with a ladder and there was a thunderstorm and crack, one of them got twatted by the bolt of lightning. But then again, why would you be out in a thunderstorm doing fire training? But anyway, just in case the fire station was to get struck by lightning, because obviously tall structures attract lightning, hence the word lightning conductor, because it conducts the lightning should it be struck by a lightning bolt. See, normally on the side of standard houses in the UK, or any sort of medium to small structure that was about sort of that height and below, you never get lightning conductors. But on tall things like towers and church spires, chimneys like that, you always get a lightning conductor on tall buildings. And it's a sad thing, because I think, for example, not so much these. I mean, these are nice, but I mean, I absolutely love and adore these Metcalf kits. I think they're lovely. And the sad thing about it is they're full of detail for a card kit. Specifically something like this. Although it's made out of card, very strong embossed card, there's lots of three-dimensional detail here around the windows, around the joins and the roof slats and everything on top there. It's a very, very, very high standard kit. Sadly, I didn't make it. Somebody else made it for me on eBay. But the thing is, when they do these things, they fail to put, and they admit, little super detail items like downpipes and lightning conductors. So they're very simple to make. So the purpose of my video today, guys and girls, is just to show you that you can take something, a simple idea, and by a simple bit of cutting and measuring and gluing, you can transform and add super detail to your existing buildings and make something like this and make it a little bit more realistic. You don't have to use guitar wire. If you've got something thinner, or something like I said, gardening wire, which is ready painted green, you can use that, or anything of that thickness. Remember, the actual scale size of this guitar string, scale-wise, is about right, because obviously in real life, the material they use for lightning conductors down the side of buildings, it cannot afford to be flimsy, because it takes a massive, massive dose of amps should it get struck. So obviously it doesn't want to disintegrate on contact. The idea is it takes the lightning straight down to earth, and it discharges it to the earth quite safely without zapping or damaging the building. Anyway, interesting. But I'm sure Mr. Dibner will be in business on my model railway, maintaining these things. Anyways, guys, that's really it. So I'm just going to get on with and crack on with painting these up. And the next time you'll see these on the railway, they'll be all painted, and they should look actually quite nice. Anyway, with that said, I'll see you soon, and thanks for joining me. Take care, and I'll see you soon in another video. All the best now. Bye-bye.